fine. Okay.
All good. Okay.
Hello.
Cool. Hello.
Welcome to the Music Lens podcast with me, Alex Allegra.
And Katie Fee.
Okay, so, where do we want to start?
I was going to say, I don't know if I need to say this, but I'm like 90% over a cold, so apologies to future Alex in editing.
You really don't sound like you have a cold, that's why.
Yeah, I'm just saying future Alex might have to cut out like throat clearing and coughing occasionally, so apologies for that.
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, I just love her.
Oh, Aunt. I love you. Friend brought us a chocolate brownie to share.
Okay. Fun. You can eat that
cute.
in our break between episodes.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Delivery. Yeah. Where were we? Oh, just
we really weren't anywhere.
Not anywhere. Just yeah. If you hear throat clearing, that's what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we haven't recorded in a while, so there's a lot of stuff.
I know. Maybe
I feel
that's
like
why I was
happened.
like, this is awkward. Like, I don't even know where to start.
I'm just like, there's so much, but also we don't need to like cover every minute of our lives since the last time we've recorded. So
I don't even remember the last time we recorded.
I don't know, but we went to Dollywood since then. Okay. So we did a trip to Dollywood.
We did.
Which was fun.
When love.
I cried after one of the roller coasters, but it's funny now. It wasn't when it happened. I was like, I need off this thing.
No, that was fun. We finally got a group trip.
Yes.
Out of the group chat.
Yes.
So that was fun.
Didn't see a bear, but when I was loading the car up in the morning, the like old couple that was at the cabin across from us, the guy's like, "Can I give you a tip?" And I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "Watch your doors being open. We have a nosy bear that likes to roam around here." And I guess he had seen a bear at like 4 a.m. in the driveway. So there was one, but we just never saw it ourselves.
No. Well, no, and we were there like the
Not
shortest amount of time, but yeah. I'm trying to think when Braden and I went to Gatlinburg, because we did see a bear on our way back, but it didn't really bother us. So.
Yeah.
But I was trying to remember if we spent more than one day
at the cabin, maybe like 12 to 14 hours, and most of it was sleeping. So wasn't much opportunity to be finding bears.
Yeah.
But I'm curious where in the driveway it was, because our bedroom window was like facing where we were parked. So like we could see the cars through the window when the blinds were open. So I'm like, was it close to us at all?
I know. Well, that's what I was going to say is I'm pretty sure I heard some sniffing around our cabin when we went, but like I couldn't tell. I was like, I think there's a bear. Oh, well, no, Brayden and I did see it near the window, and we were like, we had to wait until it like moved before we could like go outside to our cars.
That's why I was confused with the like checkout directions, was like put the trash on the bench. Yeah. And I'm like, but food attracts bears.
Because literally every cabin in Gatlinburg has like bear protected trash cans. Yeah. Like you have to lock it up.
I was like, that seems weird, but also we won't be the ones to deal with it. So I guess we're just following directions. But yeah, it was a fun trip though. I've never been to Gatlinburg. I've been to Pigeon Forge, but not Gatlinburg before, so that was fun on Sunday, going down and seeing that. And then it's kind of crazy to think that we were there like a week before all the flooding from Hurricane Helene. So like all the TikToks of like the main road, I'm like, we were just there.
Okay, was that because one of my coworkers said that was actually from like a couple of years ago, and it wasn't actually this year?
Oh, it wasn't an actual one from this year? It was a resurfaced TikTok?
Yeah.
I don't know, because
there was some false reporting with it. Maybe it wasn't Gatlinburg, but like there was definitely some false reporting with like because especially here in Nashville, like any like thing, like one thing I saw was like, oh, one of the dams broke and stuff. That didn't actually happen, and we actually didn't get as much rain as people thought we were gonna get.
We got like 4 inches still in like 24 hours.
Yeah, from Friday to Saturday, but then the rest of the weekend really wasn't that bad. And I was getting texts and stuff from like everyone being like, it's like, are you guys okay? And I'm like, it's real. And they're like, you need to stay inside. And I'm like, yes, but also it's really not.
Like for us, yeah. I canceled my dentist or like rescheduled it because I was like, it's gonna be raining and I'm not driving into town in that like level of rain, which they're fine with me rescheduling and understanding, so that was good. But I stayed home. Sam was in Kansas for a show, so I had no in-person interaction with another human for 77 hours. Because I just stayed home the entire weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice because I was supposed to, like, do a whole bunch of shoots for shows, and I was excited about it, but I was also so tired that it was kind of nice to have one of the days I ended up not having anything, and I was like, oh, I can relax a little bit, so.
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess I don't know.
Or maybe it was Atlanta. Maybe Gatlinburg actually did flood, but it was,
because I know
like
East Tennessee did.
Yeah.
But it seemed like Dollywood was fine for the most part. I know they closed for a little bit, but they reopened pretty quickly. So I don't imagine there was much for them. And that's not like too far away from each other. So that's why I was a little confused. But I know East Tennessee and like Western North Carolina got hit really hard with all the rain from the hurricane. I don't know how much they got hit with like wind related stuff of the actual cyclone. But I know the radar was like, it kept changing, but it looked like it was going to go up and then over towards Clarksville, down, and then back towards Nashville. And I think it ended around Clarksville. Okay. But I was just like staying up to date because I'm like, it's kind of go around me, but what if it changes and goes towards me? And I was home alone all weekend, like I said. So I'm like, I need to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't think much of it, actually. But just because, like I said, it kind of stopped raining. And, like, we didn't get anything up here. So I was just like, I'm just chilling.
Sam's mom was like, Katie should go stay at a friend's house so she's not alone during it. But I think she thought it would be worse than it was. And I just monitored the situation. So it was fine. But I feel like we're really lucky that it was fine here because that was like all the damage and stuff you see in Western North Carolina is like insane.
Yeah, Asheville and all that stuff actually did get
and I think, was it Music Row? What was the post that we put on our story? I know you were the one to post it.
Oh, yeah, because there was a couple benefit concerts and donations.
Yeah, so there's a lot of donation stuff.
I reposted a couple of them. I don't remember which one I had reposted specifically.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's a lot. I'm sure just a simple Google search will find a lot of results with, like, Red Cross and things like that. For anyone who is in a financial situation where you can donate and want to help the cause. And I know Eric Church, he's like from that area and he's done like songwriting retreats in that area. It's very like personal to him. He was supposed to do a show streamed on his Outsiders Radio Monday night, the 30th. And he like postponed that to November because of everything happening, because he's like, I want to focus on helping them right now. And so he ended up releasing a song Friday, what was that day, the 4th. And he's working on a project for next year, which is exciting. And they like finished the song and it was very fitting of the situation. So they decided to just go ahead and put that out, and he signed all of the publishing rights away. So all the stream money, like anything that is made from that song is going to help everyone. Not just Western North Carolina, but also like East Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, like anyone affected, because he's like, I want to do something to help now, but something that's going to continue to help over time.
Yeah.
So,
that's so nice.
I love that he did that. And the song's called Darkest Hour, so it's like just being with someone and helping them through their darkest hour, so very fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really He always is very inventive with his music, which I love, because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna get into when I listen to a new Eric Church song. So it was interesting of like, it starts with like a violin part, but then a flute comes in. I'm like, a flute? What? But no, I really love the song. Go check it out, because that's another way to support relief from the hurricane, but also just, it's a good song.
Who knew just listening to music could help everything all the time?
Yeah. So, and Joanna Cotton's on it, so that's nice to hear that she's still like involved with him and his band, even if she's not on the road with him anymore. So yeah. I was like, oh, Joanna's voicing. So I liked that too. But yeah, you went to chapel. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I through work ended up getting to go because we did some of their lighting and it was really cool. And I was trying to be, how do I dress up to my most authentic, like, I'm going to see Chappell Roan self?
Yeah.
While also being professional. Because I was like, I can't just wear what I would normally wear to a concert with my boss.
Did you see Sarah's costume?
Yes, it was amazing.
She handmade like a bra that has like pieces of corn on it, because the theme was Midwest Princess.
So I didn't know that it was Midwest Princess either.
Oh, okay.
I just was like, oh, I'm gonna wear my sparkliest outfit.
I had seen her post of she did for like several shows, like, here's the upcoming themes. So
well, I knew that was a thing. I just didn't care enough to like look, and I'm glad, because honestly I don't have any, like most people dress in like camo type things, and honestly I did not have any camo. Well, actually that's not true. I guess I do have some camo stuff. I have a skirt.
Oh, you could have worn your like green tank that you like wore when we first met Hunter Hayes.
Yeah,
because that'd be like the color, if not camo, but still the color.
Like I said, I was like, it's Chapel. I want to be like my best sparkliest self. So I wore like my bedazzled jeans and like a nice top, because I didn't want to wear shorts that were too short or anything like that. There was a dog backstage, and it was so nice backstage, and one of our trucks apparently had this pit bull. No, it wasn't a pit bull. It was a Doberman, I want to say.
I don't know.
No, it was a Rottweiler. Sorry. It was a Rottweiler named Sammy, and it was the cutest thing ever and the sweetest. And the guy was like, it's all in how you train them. Because those are, like, Rottweilers get, like, a lot. But it was one of those, like, chunky, lovable boys. And he was loving all the attention. He was so cute. But no, I just wanted to be sparkly. So I went sparkled as best I could. Mm-hmm. But I have been looking to get her album because it's either really expensive online, or I think she released a couple at one point. But I was like, I don't want to pay for shipping and all of that. So I got her album while I was there, and I got a hat.
There you go.
Because I wasn't a big fan of her t-shirt selection, honestly. Like, they were okay. Especially for her being her, I wished that there were better designs for the t-shirts.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially with how expensive t-shirts are anymore.
So I can't really comment on them.
I know, because I just basically went by myself, because once the show started, I stood with my boss for like 5 seconds, and I was like, are we good? Can I go? And he was like, yeah, do whatever you want. I was like, cool. And then I stood on the side because we didn't have a seat. So I just had to find this place I could stand the whole time.
Is it similar to Ascend Amphitheater at all? Okay. Because I feel like a lot of amphitheaters are like set up similarly.
Yeah, but First Bank is like beautiful, and it's like in the rocks and the mountains. It's a gorgeous venue.
Like, it's similar, but First Bank is beautiful, Ascend is ugly.
Well, and First Bank is, all the seats are like, you have like seats, and then it's like tiered in the second, and then there's a tier in the third, and the second and third are like football bleacher benches kind of things, which is a little awkward.
So it's like different of like, there's no lawn
seating. Then there's no lawn seating. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, we're good. So there's no lawn seating. It's all like concrete and stuff, and it's also a wedding venue.
Okay.
It was really pretty.
Interesting.
It was, my boss told me the story of how it came to be. So it was, oh gosh, I'm gonna forget now, of course, but it was basically this couple wanted one of them was like a wedding planner and coordinator, so they like built this, and then the other was like in the music industry and wanted a concert venue, so they combined the two.
Both.
And it's so pretty. And
we drove by. I don't know. Can you see anything from the road? I just saw the sign, and that was all I saw.
That's all you can kind of see.
Sammy pointed it out, and she's like, "Oh, that's where that is." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You have to like walk everywhere, so it's like Bonnaroo in that kind of sense. It's like kind of in the middle of nowhere, and
I just hear it's hard to get in and out of.
Yes, and there is one road that gets you in and out. That is the only problem, and we got caught on the way in, but then because we were backstage for parking, one of the security guards escorted us all the way to the main road and with his golf cart in front of us. We got to the highway in like a minute. It was amazing. I was like, perks of the job.
I saw Nick and Justin, Sammy's brother and brother-in-law, they like were posting, they're like, Chapel, we're on the way, but we're in traffic. I'm like, that sounds about right.
I missed all of the opening acts because we got there right after they had finished, so unfortunately that was the only downside with the traffic. So
but so worth it. You're trying to go.
I tried so hard to get those tickets. I had pre-sale, didn't get in. There was like 4,000 people in front of me. I was like, okay, I know how big this place is. Okay. Then they did some extra, like all throughout the day, they were releasing little spots of tickets. So I was on all day. Every time I clicked on, they were gone, like, or they were too expensive, and I really didn't have the money at the time that they were on sale. So I was like trying to find the cheaper ones. And I was like, I'm just going by myself. So I was like trying to, because I didn't know anyone that would go with me at the time. And then I found out people would have gone with me later. But and then I had won a radio contest to go to a pool party where they were giving them out, but I couldn't go on that day because it was my sister-in-law's wedding. So I couldn't go to the pool party. And then they ended up rescheduling the pool party, and then I could have gone, but something had happened and I couldn't go to that again. And then I was like, this is, of course, is the one thing I won, and I can't go. And then I tried Instagram giveaways and all that stuff. Didn't get any of those. And so I was like, okay, if it's meant to be, because I was also supposed to be in a musical this whole time because I was going to audition for one that I didn't end up even auditioning for because I was so busy in September and was like, I don't think I can reasonably do that, which good for Alex for thinking a little bit ahead because I ended up being so busy. I finished my photography course. I, had shows every weekend, or events every weekend. I was very busy in work itself for once in September. Normally it's our slow down season, so not this year. And then finally I overheard my boss on the phone with somebody who needed some extra lights, and I was like, so are we doing Chapel? And I was like, I really want to go. He was like, sure, you'll be my +1. I was like, cool.
There you go. Yeah.
And Hayley Williams was backstage hanging out with her group of people. And I saw the blonde dude from Little Big Town. Philip was there. And I think that was everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Fun. It's fun to see backstage stuff sometimes too. Yeah. Just
I was backstage. People. Yeah. We went, we started off backstage, so I was just hanging out back there. We weren't allowed in their artist camp area, so I don't. Yeah, that was about it. But
yeah, I think the only other chit chatty catch up thing is and I would have changed our Tuesday news day to this because this came out on Tuesday of last week, but I was at work, so there was no way for me to go in and change it, and it was already scheduled, and was like, we'll just share it on our story. But Leslie Fram is leaving CMT after 13 years of working there.
She was somebody I never thought would actually leave. I figured she'd kind of die in the role.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, one of those kinds of sounds things. A little morbid.
That didn't mean it for it to be morbid. I just meant like, you know, or like retire in the role. Yeah. But I guess.
Well, at first I was like, oh, is she retiring? She didn't really like specify where she's going, but also the first article that I saw pop up talking about it said like it was as part of Paramount's, which is CMT's like parent company, is doing like a series of layoffs.
That surprised me that they like took her out with the layoffs.
I'm like it wasn't what? Her choice to leave unless she. We don't want to put words anything. I don't want to put words in her mouth unless it was like, oh, there's layoffs and she decided to like be one of the people to be laid off so other people can stay if she decided it was time to do something else. But yeah, we don't really want to like assume anything of why she chose to leave / had to leave. But she had like a nice message on her Instagram, like put her letter up that she wrote about her time at CMT and being grateful to all the people she's gotten to work with over the years and stuff. So that was really nice. And I just really hope that CMT is able to continue to do the things that she started, and like she really built up CMT to be this platform that uplifts not only female voices but also just like any like underrepresented voices in country music. So I hope that they're able to continue to do so after she leaves.
When I saw that there was a bunch of layoffs and in CMT, it just made me think that like what is CMT really going to become? Because I know, I mean, obviously the MTVs and that of the world have already shifted into actually providing content and like not just music videos and all this stuff. So it's just a matter of,
and they haven't been doing much. Like typically how I've noticed the last couple years of like doing PA work is like CMT awards happen in April and then there's not really much for events until like August, and then they start recording like storytellers, Crossroads, things like that, where there's PA work that I get to be a part of. But this year there's been nothing.
I was gonna say, even when we first started in college doing like seat filler type stuff, I felt like there was always something, because I mean, we did like that pool party with the countdowns and all of that stuff, and they were always filming something, it seemed. And
and like
it's slowly gone down throughout the years.
Their second biggest event has always been in October. It's been Artist of the Year forever, and then last year they replaced it with Smashing Glass, where they were honoring Danny Tucker and Patti LaBelle. And so I guess that was just replacing it. I don't know.
Patti LaBelle? Patti Loveless?
No.
Oh, it was Patti LaBelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that, I guess, isn't happening either, because, like I said, I haven't heard anything for PAs unless they've, like, figured out a workaround to where they can save money, because clearly they are not doing well financially to have a budget to hire PAs. So maybe they figured out how to do it without them or something. But yeah, that kind of makes more sense of like why I haven't heard anything or had any opportunities lately to work with them, if they are doing the layoffs of some people. So, but we're also in such a streaming era of things, of everyone's watching stuff on streaming platforms and not like cable television, and I'm assuming CMT has stuff on Paramount Plus, but
I was gonna say, because Paramount does have a streaming platform itself, so
yeah, but like CMT as a channel, I'm assuming probably just naturally isn't doing as well with people shifting away from cable, so that's probably part of it too, of losing funding from that. So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what CMT looks like moving forward, because like I know she's not like the top person. She was like working for talent. What is her official title? It's like VP of talent, and working with the talent. I'm struggling right now. But like working to like secure artists for shows and things like that, and working with them during the shows and stuff. But so she's not like the head like CEO of CMT, but still, I just feel like in these last few years, it's been like CMT is synonymous with Leslie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just like I'm biased because I admire her work so much and love everything she's done for women in country, but it'll just be interesting to see what this new CMT will be like without her.
Presented that way through Belmont, through like programs that they've like invited people out, and she always kind of was one of those people, or like other people in the industry are like, they mentioned her name a lot. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. I would assume with layoffs that means like the jobs that she had in her position just gets like absorbed into someone else's position, and they just unfortunately have more work that they have to do instead of splitting it up. But
well, yeah, it'll be interesting if they even have really a CMT in general in the next couple of years, or if they're gonna like do something different with it, or
I don't know. I almost would think that if it were to get to a point where they're struggling and talking about like ending CMT, that artists that have been like helped in their careers by CMT might like gather together to like save it. But I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just kind of like a little news update that I kind of wanted to talk about a little more, because like I said, it came out on Tuesday, and I usually schedule our Newsday stuff the night before, so it's like, well, this is happening in real time, but I don't have time to update, so
it's fine.
But yeah, what is our topic today, Alex?
Today we are talking about artist consistency, kind of going back to our artist inventory series. I was gonna say artist development series, artist inventory series. It kind of combines a lot of things that we've talked about and touched on in other episodes, but I just wanted to give like a list of like, what do you do to keep your accounts as consistent? What do you do to keep your artistry consistent amongst all aspects of your artist career and life? Because that's gonna be one of the biggest things is when you go to somebody's like website and it doesn't match what their socials are looking like, or it doesn't match like what their current, you know, catalog of music is going to sound like. All of these things are such a puzzle piece of things to show like the picture of the artist as a whole. So if they're not all together, it's very noticeable and very amateurish looking. So if you want to step up your game a little bit, you create this consistency across the board. So I don't really have an order for how to keep things consistent, but like starting out, obviously you have your name, you want to have logo, fonts. Canva's been really I've used it lately as a way. I think Canva gets somewhat of a rap, just like I know people have made fun of it, like if you make your graphic
like
design,
obvious, that it's from a template that like a lot of people use.
Yeah, but honestly, if you know how to use it and know how to use it well, it can be a very helpful tool.
Yeah, and they're is it called Premium for their paid one? Canva Premium, which I've only done the free trial for just because money.
I haven't.
If you do the premium, they do have like branding things where you can save the colors that you have for your brand and fonts and stuff.
Yep. So that's what I was going to talk about and that's why I pay for it. So I use that, and I even use it in work to create, like, it'll give you upload your logo, and then like it'll grab all the colors out of it and create a color scheme for you, and then you can go through and select like your heading, your subheadings, your paragraph styles, all of your fonts you can save. So once you build your website, then you know exactly what fonts to use, what to keep everything consistent. So and your website, my website, I know as well also kind of keeps a branding template like that as well. But then at least like then you can keep it consistent, because I know like when you go to Instagram and want to create a poster or whatever, then you can also have everything very connected. And Canva also allows you to create website designs and stuff on there as well. I think if you pay for it, you can also create your website through Canva. But Wix, WordPress, Squarespace are all some good.
I use Bandzoogle.
Bandzoogle. Yeah. Okay. GoDaddy is also a website designer.
Just because it's geared towards musicians.
Oh, really? So I use Wix, and I pay for the premium that is geared towards musicians. Okay. But Wix also has a free trial. I will say it is very unprofessional looking if you have the like Wix or WordSpace free trial versions of anything that you do.
Because it's going to have that on like their name will also be like part of your website.
Also, the bottom socials of any website like that will link to like Wix's socials or anything. You can't customize that stuff. So buy your domain. That's why having your name and all that stuff established is also very important, because buy your domain name.
Yep.
Like it'll tell you on, I know Wix, before you establish it, it'll tell you if that's already been used. Right. It'll go across everything. It'll make sure that the domain name's used. Buy your domain name before you establish yourself, probably too, on all of your socials and everything like that. So again, it's also very consistent. Like mine is Alex Allegra Music on everything, just so people know. And I'm pretty sure
that way your website URL is the same as your socials, so it's just easy to find you everywhere.
Besides Spotify, because you don't want to have like music on your Spotify or Apple Music kind of thing, because that's a little redundant, and you're not like, my thing on Instagram and stuff was Alex Allegra Music, just because I had to establish that it was a music page before everything else that like established it, because I've created mine back in high school, which was like 10 years ago at this point. So they didn't have like categories underneath who you were and all this extra things to like notify it. Plus, there are people in like real life that are named Alex Allegra, so you have to.
And there's like, the odds of you getting just your first and last name as an Instagram handle, any handle, is like probably pretty slim with the amount of users on these websites at this point.
That is why you see like random people, like I want to say Billie Eilish is something odd, or like Drake's Instagram
handle, like Spacey Casey.
Yeah, Spacey Casey. Like those, the like handles itself are like the fun things, because that also is part of your branding. Like,
or like Riley Green is Riley Duckman.
Yes, but like that makes sense because his whole brand is ducks. Like he had like a neon like thing hunting, of a duck and hunting, and like that's his whole brand. So like it makes sense. So you want your handles, if it can't be just your name, to also establish like something about your personality and your brand. And I think like Renee Raps is like ex-wives or something like that, because like it has to do with one of her songs, and her fan club's also called something of that, like divorced ex-wife or something like that. It's something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's redundant.
I that's why I said I think it's something like that, and I don't think it's that. It's like the ex-wives club or something like that.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other examples of like a singular artist, not like a band, because obviously bands are already stage names are a thing, but like a band is like a made-up name, where artists are usually like, for the most part, majority of artists are a name that could be a legal name as well as an artist name.
Yeah, I don't know, because I like think of the band Camino, and their tag is the band Camino, because
yeah. So I'm just thinking artist wise is more likely versus band wise.
Yeah. If you're just like a solo artist.
Yeah.
So yes, creating your color scheme and how you want some people really want an artistically looking Instagram page. So like you have to think of everything down to the last detail. I try to create such an aesthetic with my Instagram all the freaking time, but I always feel like it is so hard to keep it consistent. I don't know. Well, I know how some of these people keep it consistent, but But that's also part of my brand I've learned to accept is like it's the fun messiness of life, and that's kind of what my brand is. So
but you could even like,
if you wanted to have a border around everything, if you wanted to
the same filter on every post you have.
Filters are a big thing. I know one of the companies I worked for in the past was like, these are the 3 filters we put on every story. So like mix it up, but it can only be one of these 3. Yeah. And it's like meetings are discussed about those little things. In like the big corporate worlds, like meetings are had about, or if you go to a think of marketing agency, this is the stuff that they're gonna sit down and like talk you through, like, okay, these are your fonts, these are your styles, these are X, Y, and Z, these are the emojis that you're gonna use, these are like, it comes down to even like
if you think of like Taylor as example of like everything was black and white when Rep came out, and then when we went into Lover there's like pink tones, and then like thinking of the emojis for all the eras, there's like consistent emojis for each era.
Yes. But that also, so it's part when you're establishing yourself, this is who you are, and then it's going to go into, okay, what is this musically and sonically, but then also at the same time, it's still very much like you, like it's that line of like, because the music is going to represent you and your artistry in some sense, so it's going to still all kind of coincide as one,
and you want to, I guess this is somewhat, it's adjacent, but like when you're picking songs, you want to make sure there's stuff that fit your brand as well, and it's not like completely out there topic that doesn't fit you as a person and as an artist too.
So I was going to talk about that as well. So one thing is we talk about writing, and you should still totally write because you're never going to go, oh, let's change it up a little bit if you don't write the same song about 50 times, you know, or like want to experiment a little bit and get out of like that little comfort zone that you have. So write, but also know like, and that's also why you should write a lot, is that you have songs to pick out like, oh, that totally represents what this next chapter is going to be. Oh, that. And then you can actually pick and choose instead of just having like the 10 songs that you've written and maybe they don't all coincide with each other, or maybe they're all like the same song about 10 different times. Like you have no frame of reference to sit there and pick your songs if you don't write a ton.
Right. Yeah.
Like we walk away from some writes and I'm like, okay, that was a Katie song or that was a Sam song. But then like there's times I walk away and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I really wanted, and it's going to be different, but it's going to be the different that I want. And like, that's what I was leaning more towards. And, you know, it helps you step into that next chapter of your music tree. Anyways, then you want to have a photo shoot that incorporates your colors, your branding, all that stuff. So if you want to be like very eerie and mystical, you probably want to do something outside with like lots of haze and like very ethereal, and like there are people in this industry, Peyton, oh gosh, I'm gonna forget her last name, Dale. We met at one of a conference we went to way back in the day.
Okay.
Back in college days.
Name, but...
she's kind of gotten big on TikTok, but she'll talk about fashion sense a lot, and she's a consultant for artists to sit down and say, who are you and how do I express that through the clothes that you're even wearing?
Right.
And I always thought it was different when you're an independent artist to not like wear something different every single time you go on stage just because you want a different content photo and you've played like the same little clubs here and there all the time, or like writers rounds and all that stuff. But once you start kind of like having full band shows and that kind of stuff, even like the aesthetic of, do you want an all girl band? Do you want an all guy band? Do you want all of the people to literally wear all black and be blended into the background so that you can shine the most? Do you want it to look like a cohesive? Kate Cosentino, one of our friends, has everybody because sometimes wear jumpsuits, and I love that look. Like that's so cool,
right?
Or like with her new band, JK the Band, it's very like folksy, so everyone like wears very folksy outfits, or
like I don't know what she's doing currently with her band, but I think of like back in Belmont days for Anna Voss, she had all of her band wearing like what do you think? Like the classic, like
cowboy
nudies, like with the bedazzled shirts of cacti on them.
I loved her shirts; they were so cool. I try to have everybody either wearing all black so that I can wear like the sparkliest outfit that I can find, or I really want to do like actual t-shirts that everyone has to wear, but I like don't.
So far, I'm just like, wear what you want, and I think the people that play with me are like good about picking outfits that still are gonna like match the vibe of the music. Still,
I also freedom, do it so last minute that I'm like, oh, we're playing tomorrow, wear this, like, but I try to keep it all black or all white. I really want to do an all white, but like I don't think that's hard for people to do sometimes, especially with the last minuteness. I've even heard like you should choreograph your band a little bit, or like choreographing your band. Do you want them to dance? Do you want them to do like it's little things like that? And but I always thought it was like wear a different thing every time. But I've started to like pick out a couple outfits that I like rotate between that are really like
signature.
Yeah, and Molly Grace does a great job of it, and it kind of changed my look on it because she has like 3 different rompers that she trades through. But it looks so good, and then it also, as much as I thought it wasn't going to help, it's going to help your Instagram aesthetic because it's going to establish like the look. Or somebody told me that one of the girls that they went to go see at the Listening Room a whole bunch of times, and then a couple places after that, or like City Winery, she had just set down her purse and went to like go talk to somebody, but they like looked over and was like, I think that's so-and-so, I forget her name, but she has that color blue. Like, it's this very distinct color blue that she always wears. I don't remember.
Maroney?
No.
Okay.
It's like she's very blue. But it's like a very distinct color blue that she wears, and it's like her blue. And like they knew instantly that was her. So it's like then even in your daily life, if you like established something like that, it's like that's gonna be like now people are getting recognized and as like, oh, the Chappell Roan look-alike if they have like red curly hair, and it just happens to be that they have red curly hair, you know, like so it's little things like that.
Like I think of like, well, like Megan Moroney with the blue, but also she typically wears like those like shorter skirt type outfits. Like the photo shoot we did, I had that set that I wore, and I was like, that's giving Megan Moroney.
It is,
and then Lainey with her bell bottoms, like very consistent, like lots of different looks, because you can do a lot of things with bell bottoms color wise and design wise and stuff, but like always bell bottoms and always a hat and stuff like that. So consistency, but also something that's like consistent, but also if you can find something that you are able to still have somewhat of a variety of too, I think is nice, like Lainey's. And Megan, I mean, she doesn't always wear blue, but I feel like she has that kind of style of like that shorter skirt, like
like the ruffled wider skirts and
what do you call that? It's like wider.
I know. It just reminds me of like
I'm doing this
prairie girl, like
it like it's not like Dorothy, straight flat.
It's like
down,
Dorothy, but like fluffed,
fluffy, but not fluff. But not texture-wise, but like fluffed out. Versus like flat, like straight down like a pencil skirt.
So you get your photo shoot, and then you're gonna pick out like your core kind of. I like to keep it consistent where like my front page of my website is also like the circle on my Instagram and my Facebook and like my YouTube. And then from there you get like, and keep in mind like when you go into a photo shoot that's going to be for that, like getting horizontal ones, getting vertical ones, getting proportionates for the circle, like making sure you have one that's like going to fit in all of these places that also, because like the circle on Instagram is your story one. You want to make sure people are like, oh, that's so-and-so just by looking at that picture. So like having something that is identifiable, that's also
sorry, finish your thought first.
No, that also can fit like the smaller to the bigger to and again just keeping consistent with the color schemes of everything.
Yeah. Something that's the most annoying one for like figuring out the formatting of is the YouTube cover picture, because they have 3 different sizes, because they have a different size for the TV versus a laptop versus a phone.
Yeah.
And so you want to have something that even if it's just on the phone, it gets like, it still looks good and it doesn't look like just like a partial picture, but also like you don't want just like white space on the TV. So you have to figure out how to do that, and it is such a pain.
I normally just do like some kind of textured background that like fits the color scheme.
Yeah.
Or like something that just has like, is that color around it, but has like my font and then like just like Alex Legger across it or something of that nature.
With my album, I did 5 singles and then the album, so I changed my socials for all the singles and then the album, so 6 times. And having to do that every time was like the worst part of it.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is really when you go to promote something, is make sure that you are changing everything. Like I always forget like my YouTube or something like that, but make sure that everything is very consistent, so that if somebody, because even the simple like, oh, you might have a very distinct name or something, but like when you search it, you want to be able to say like, oh, that is going to be a picture that's going to associate yourself with everything. Like it makes sense when you Google it, like, yes.
And when you change it, it also like signals to people like, oh, like new stuff too, I think. So if it's like mine's been the same for a year because my album's been out for a whole year and I haven't changed anything, but like once I start getting things ready to like start new music, then I'll change everything. And so I feel like it signals to people of like, oh, new profile picture, like the colors and everything is changing to match something that is coming in the future.
And be intentional about that. Don't just change. I'm kind of guilty of like, oh, I've done this for so long and I've been a lot better about it lately, but don't just change things just to change things. Change them with the purpose of like having new music, establishing a new branding scheme of sorts. You know, do it in a way that like you're gonna do everything all at once.
Yeah, like I've definitely debated changing it because it has been a year, but I'm like, well, it's a fall album. We're in fall again. Like I can just kind of promote it a little more until I'm ready to go on to the next thing. So that way it's all purposeful.
Right.
So in the new year, everything will be updated. So,
good things to put on your website. Have a home page that says, well, my website is set up like this. I like a home page. Also a thing that like a lot of website places have, or like I'm sure you can find them anywhere kind of, is experts that are like Wix experts or Canva experts or WordPress experts for like whatever graphic designing website you're using. It doesn't hurt to just get a second opinion, because when I first started, my website was black, but I wanted it to be black, even though I was very much advised not to go with a black background, because it just like, even the simplest of colors, and this is what a graphic designer is going to help you with, is like black didn't really represent the like joy that I was bringing to my music. So like that's why they had a problem with it. So like you have to think like, if you're making really sad, depressing, emo music, maybe you want a black background. But if you're making happy, like sunshine music and all of your images are black, it's not going to match the aesthetic, and it's not going to be a consistent brand. Like our friend Caroline DeLone is sunshine, and all of her stuff is yellow and happy and orange, and it wouldn't match. And you know, maybe that's your art, like maybe that's the artistry in your artistry, is that you want to be so polar opposite with everything, and it's but it's also an established irony there. Mine was just like, I loved wearing leather jackets a lot, and so the black matched the black in my jackets. And now my website is like blue and pink, and it's cute, and it's very bubblegum cotton candy, which is what I like. But having a homepage that's going to have like your big headlines on it, your main picture, then you probably want to have some kind of EPK, maybe it's a private off section of your website, password protection. You want a bio on your website that's for everyone to see, to give a little background of your journey and your music. Having a good background on your web or a bio on your website is difficult, I think, and B, something that you want to pull from to have, like, anytime someone asks, like, on a form or, like, in an email, like, a quick little sentence, I, like, grab it from my website so that it's already ready to go.
Just copy and paste
It's copy and pasteable. That's what the point of the website is, because essentially your website is anything except for, like, your EPK part of, like, professional stuff. That's where you want to put, like, your professional photos for, like, people to grab for advertising and stuff. But also think of your website as a whole, as those are what the internet is going to grab from. If they want a picture and they don't want to, like, they're going to grab from your photo gallery. Like, they're going to grab something off of your website. So make sure that the website represents everything that you want it to represent.
Right.
Some people, I used to have a show page. I don't have a show page anymore because I used to put, like, all my past shows on it too. And I just played so much that it got hard it got too much, and I was just like, okay, I should probably adjust it.
I would say it's good to have, you don't have to have, like, an archive of where you've played, but it's good to put your future shows so that people can find you if they want to go out to a show. They know when and where they are.
I just put it on my homepage too.
Yeah.
That and announcements. Do you want to have a little pop-up box that says, like, I have one right now that has my newest song out and, like, a link to if you want to be on my email list. So
yeah, email list is something that could be in, like, even just, like, the footer of, like, every single page on the website. Have it there, along with your socials should be on, again, like, the footer, the header, somewhere where it's going to be on every single page of the website. So
mine
it's
scrolls
easy to access
with it. That's my thing, is make sure your socials are easy to find. Some people put it only on their first page and don't realize that, and then it's like, the less clicking that somebody has to go through, the more interactions and more, like, actual results you're going to see from it. I have a link to my TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Music on mine.
Yeah.
But put links to songs. Some people, I myself included, have a list of, I have a music page on mine. That's what makes mine a music website. Where I sometimes can put little previews, like 30-second previews of the song, or you can download directly from your website if you want to have money produced that way. I don't personally. I think I just have, like, links to all
I think I'm, like, whatever the tier is just below the option where you can monetize the website in that way of selling music on it. So I don't, but there's, like, the DistroKid, like, link where that takes you to a list of, like, pick where you want to go. If you want to go to Spotify or you want to go to iTunes to, like, buy the actual download of the song, you can.
Right, and make sure that you're using your distributors, your CD Babies, your DistroKids, whatever. A lot of them will correlate with your website and stuff too, so make sure all of that is linked as well, so that you're also getting, like, because I know DistroKid puts your own YouTube page up for you, so making sure that, like, your YouTube page is all synced with everything, and your Spotify is synced with your DistroKid, and so that you're not just, like, having random things out on the internet that aren't connected to getting paid for the work that you're doing.
Homepage, I feel like the first thing on your homepage, because it's the first thing that someone's going to see on your website, should be whatever you are currently wanting to promote. It doesn't necessarily have to be, like, a song or an album. It could be, like, a show that you have coming up, anything like that too. Also, having a contact page is good, so that way if there is someone who is interested in booking you for something, they have a way to contact you. It could be, I think mine has a form, and it's like, fill out this form for, like, booking inquiries or any business inquiry. Or you can email, and then it has my email address as well if they want to send a direct email as opposed to using the form.
So. Establishing an email that's personalized to your music accounts is also a good thing to have. Don't have it sent to your personal stuff for a number of reasons. Do you want to give, especially if you have a stage name, do you want to give your regular name out to just the general public? Also, yours might be Stargirl 57 from when you were in middle school. Are you really giving out that one? No, you want it to all look professional. So create, and Gmail accounts are free and take 5 seconds to do.
You could literally do like your social handle / URL as like your Gmail, which is what mine is.
That's what mine is. Yeah,
and our podcast is as well. So like it's very easy to do it that way. Or some websites will have the option to create an email through it. So I haven't, but if I did, the example would probably be like katie@katiefeemusic.com as an email, something like that, where you can have, if you have a team, you can have several email addresses associated with your website of like, your manager can have one with their name and things like that.
I know my Wix account has that if you pay for it. And even websites, will allow you to make your own logos and everything like that, and then your logos and all those pictures are going to transfer into even something as small as your guitar pick and if your business card,
drum head, if you have a custom drum
head
for your drummer, having that everywhere basically.
So keep it consistent. We actually talked a lot about this, and I think we can stop there. I was going to try and play a game of like guess the like branding based off of like celebrities, but we could do that another time.
We could do that as just like a fun kind of part 2-ish episode of that in the future at some point.
So
speaking of socials, you could email us if you have thoughts that you want to share with us about this, like your opinion or any advice that you have that you want to share with artists, or just anything in general that you want to share with us. You can send it to themusiclenspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on socials at The Music Lens Podcast. You can find Alex at Alex Allegra Music on all the socials, and you can find myself at Katie Fee Music on all the socials. So that's all for this week.
That is all. So how do we talk for an hour all the time? Bye.
Oops, bye.